global warming and local action. As the news reports on more incidents of drought, hurricanes, and melting glaciers, the question of what to do about global warming and climate change is a common topic on people's minds. Many people place hope in negotiation by governments to reach international agreements on the control of carbon emissions and triggers of climate change. However, other people want to be able to take action as individuals or in their local community. Although climate change is a complex process that crosses international borders, individuals and local communities still have a role to play. By joining environmental groups in their local areas and changing their daily habits, people can help change policy about climate change and impact the environment directly. Climate change is having a major effect on agriculture, natural resources, and living conditions around the world. Global warming, or more accurately, climate change, is occurring because the level of carbon dioxide or CO2 is increasing because of human activities, and this process results in heat being trapped in the Earth's atmosphere. In recent years, this situation has started to reach critical levels. According to Jennifer Weeks in CQ researcher, Earth's atmosphere now contains more carbon dioxide than at any time in up to 3 million years. Scientists are concerned that if this process is not stopped, then we will see more severe weather events such as flooding, droughts, and rising sea levels, among other things. On the other hand, although the climate trends are now undeniable and approximately 97% of scientists now agree that human activities are to blame, some conservatives dispute that society should take action to reduce the production of CO2 or attempt to stop or slow climate change. They argue that the proposals to reduce CO2 use would increase prices, and that there is not enough evidence that the measures would actually work to affect the climate and reduce the likelihood of catastrophic change. This controversy has caused political paralysis, with politicians unable to agree on what policies should be adopted, leaving the public more confused about the issue. People living in urban areas in the United States may assume that climate change is a distant problem, and that the resolution of the controversy will not affect them directly. But this is not true. Many American metropolitan areas are under threat from climate change, and the San Francisco Bay Area is one of them. The evidence shows that the San Francisco Bay Area is likely to experience severe effects from climate change, impacting the natural environment and also people's lives. One of the main effects that will be that plants and animal life in the Bay Area will change as a result of climate change, as current species will not be able to survive the changes. According to a research study conducted by scientists from the University of California, Berkeley, and the U.S. Geological Survey, the full extent of the change could be measured, but unpredictable. The research study states one of the clear implications of this work is the importance of conserving heterogeneous and diverse vegetation at local scales to provide propagule sources that can facilitate topographic shifts and habitat transitions. In other words, local environmental groups and scientists should work together to preserve seeds and species samples to protect the species from dying out. This gives one clear project that local groups can engage in to help respond to the threat of climate change. Another threat to the Bay Area from climate change is a change in sea level, river flow, and water availability. According to researchers at the U.S. Geological Survey, the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, and other research institutions who work together on a study of the impact of climate change on water in the Bay Area. Climate change will result in temperature increase and sea level increases in the Bay Area in the reasonable possible scenarios for the future. In addition, this study warns that if realized, the significant trends toward reduced precipitation and runoff in at least one scenario would have important implications for California's future water supply. In other words, if the trend in climate change is not reversed or other actions taken, people living in the Bay Area will feel the effect very strongly in the future. Because the Bay Area will experience the effect of climate change directly, people living in this area may be searching for actions that they can take to try to contribute toward a solution. Severe local environmental groups provide ways for individuals to help influence environmental policy and help fight against climate change. For example, one group working on environmental issues related to climate change and other problems is Berkeley's Ecology Center. The Ecology Center is a non-profit organization in Berkeley. And it has a library to teach people about the environment and a shop with green products. It also runs the Berkeley Farmers Markets, does a recycling pickup in Berkeley, and runs a hotline where people from anywhere in the country can ask for advice about environmental issues. Jeannie Pham, a staff member of the Ecology Center, believes that global warming is a serious issue and that solving it will require coordinated action among different countries, governments, but she also feels that individuals can help in their own way. Pham explains that people can act locally to help work against global warming. By being more environmentally active, they can buy locally grown food, such as the farmers' markets, in order to reduce the amount of trucks and transportation. which reduces the amount of vehicles exhaust put into the atmosphere. They can also ride share or bicycle in order to drive less. Pham describes how people can act locally to make a positive impact on the environment. She states, a few places that I recommend people to start is with reducing their usage of plastics, using less or least toxic methods of dealing with insect pests in the home, and seriously considering reusing water in their home. In these ways, people will produce less waste and toxins and contribute to a cleaner environment. Using less water is especially important because climate change is expected to reduce the availability of water in the Bay Area. Another local organization working to fight against the problems caused by climate change is the NorCal Climate Mobilization Group. This group has regular meetings to engage in activism to raise awareness about global warming and try to convince officials to take action. The group helped plan an event on November 21 in Oakland called Defend the Earth. The event was intended to show support for climate change reform and put pressure on the representatives of countries who will be meeting soon in Paris to negotiate on climate change issues. Although climate change is a global issue, NCCM takes the position that people can act locally by attending marches, calling or emailing politicians, and trying to raise public awareness of the problem of climate change. Myers describes how urgent the problem of climate change was, but pointed out that the public doesn't get much input into how to solve the problem. He states on November 30, representatives of 190 countries will be meeting in Paris to negotiate rules to address climate change, but almost no one is aware of this conference. We need to raise public awareness and make these officials understand that they are accountable to the people and not just corporations. As this shows, affecting climate change through local action is challenging, but it is possible for local people to make their voice heard through activism. The Northern California Climate Mobilization event on November 21 was held in Oakland, California. This rally started out at Lake Merritt, including a march to downtown Oakland, and ended at Frank Algaba Plaza at Oakland City Hall. There were a few hundred marchers from different groups, including unions carrying signs and identifying the union name. Many people carry colorful banners showing slogans in support of environmentalism. The speakers all explained how important it is to take action against climate change, but they had different opinions about whether they could trust international negotiations to reach the right policy. The day was sunny and clear, and the group looked like they were having fun in the amphitheater at the plaza, but the small number of people in attendance did not make it look like they have succeeded in educating very many local people about the issue. Much more work is necessary in order to help people understand that climate change is important to them locally and that there are actions that they can take to help on this issue. Climate change is discussed on the news frequently, but few people really understand how it will affect them or whether there is any action they can take in their local community to help solve the problem. Some people argue that we do not know whether the most commonly proposed solutions such as carbon tax will work and that they will result in higher prices. However, the evidence shows that the San Francisco Bay Area has a direct stake in the outcome of the battle against climate change. This local area will be affected seriously, and it is important for people to get involved and try to contribute to a solution. One possible action is to become active in a local environmental group and that lobbies politicians to take action. Another is to change daily habits to conserve water and drive less. Although one individual cannot solve the problem alone, if enough people can become involved, it can have a positive effect.